Yo soy ocumbaleño y vengo de los olivos a darle la mano del enfermo y a levantar a los caídos. Yo soy ocumbaleño y vengo de los olivos a darle la mano del enfermo y a levantar a los caídos. Ay, yo soy Ogón, ay, yo soy allá. Oh, papá Candelo, ay, Anisa Pie. Oh, yo soy Ogón, ay, yo soy allá. Oh, yo soy Ogón, ay, yo soy allá. Oh, yo soy Ogón, ay, yo soy allá. Yo soy ogumbaleño y vengo de los olivos a darle la mano del enfermo y a levantar a los caídos. Hola, Salaam Alaikum. My name is Delaney Fana, and I am your host for Fana Talks. This is Fana Talks, where I center on the emotional and psychological dimensions of our everyday lives. Whoa, I am playing the tambora now. I've always played the tambora since I was younger. My mom and my dad taught me how to play it. But I wanted to start something a little bit different for this episode because we have a lot of really powerful transits going on. We have really special events happening within Islam, astrologically. Me personally had to take a little step back from podcasting in the consistent rate that I was doing because I just had to really soak in what was happening in my external. And I know how powerful it is for me to alchemize and to use my hands in anything that I create. So every time that I use my hands to create, every time that I just kind of center my art around what I'm going through in my life, a lot of it manifests in the external. So there's been a lot of shifts. There's been a lot of shifts happening. Alhamdulillah, I'm so grateful. I'm so happy to be back behind the camera. Yeah, so this is my parents' tambora, and I wanted to just bring it in today just to kind of hone in my culture. As you guys know, I am Dominican. Both of my parents are born in Santo Domingo, and I am a really proud Dominican Muslim. I'm the only Dominican Muslim in my family. And it also kind of transitions into what I'll be intuitively speaking about today. We have a new moon in Aquarius. So our new moon in Aquarius, if you're not too familiar with Aquarians, my south node is in Aquarius. So that means that I have already embodied and perfected and mastered that sign. So when there's a new moon in Aquarius, for me right now, that means there's just a huge call for revolution, not just evolution, but revolution, rebellion. There's a huge call for community, for us to hone in and really lean on each other. Just being different, being your authentic self, not really caring about certain rules and obligations that you have to follow, and just creating your own world, being the best author that you can be in your own world. And so, as I mentioned, me being the only Dominican Muslim in my family is a huge role for me to step into because I know that I'm the different one. I know that I'm the generational curse breaker, however way you want to put it. I just know that I'm me. And I know that the more that I embody that truth, the more that it will look rebellious to other people that has paved a certain way and has walked the walk that others have. But I'm like, I kind of want to steer this way. I want to go to the left a little bit and follow my own path, follow my own voice and what resonates best with me. So that's what's going on in the ethers, right? And so what else is happening? Ramadan. Oh my God, Ramadan is starting. So one thing that I found really interesting about Ramadan this year is I searched up when it starts I searched up when it starts and I I saw, the first thing that I saw was that it starts today. And I was like, okay, like it's the 17th. Okay, cool. But then I saw that it starts tomorrow. In Saudi Arabia, they're starting it tomorrow. And I was like, okay. And then I also saw something that said that it's starting on the 19th. And all three completely different dates within, a walk of life that's very strict. Like, okay, like this is the set day. And then also Eid. Like Eid is also changing. Like the dates are also changing with that. It's kind of like a guesstimate now from what I've researched. So to kind of speak about that, and when it comes to rules and like, everything that I just shared earlier, there's just no coincidence in that. Like I'm also someone that's really introspective. Like I look at things like this that are like supposed to follow a specific guideline and book, and then I connect it to my outer world. So me, I am highly intuitive. I am really deep into my spiritual practice and how that looks like for me every day. It's something different. Every day is something new. I'm always learning and transforming. And my beliefs are also always shifting. I have a core belief of who Delaney is, the most authentic Delaney. But also the essence of Delaney is always shedding. Like I kind of like the snake. I'm always like restructuring and not trying to restrict myself in experiencing life, although I am walking this way of life in Islam. And so it just seems as though everybody's just doing what they want to do when it comes to starting Ramadan, because we all have different dates of it. So in my brain, I take that as like what I just mentioned. Like I get to create what being a Dominican Muslim woman is for me and how that makes me feel. Because there are certain things within Islam that, of course, I was not born into Islam. I didn't revert to Islam until last year. So I am still learning the rules and like certain things within the religion. However, there are certain things that I have read and, just don't really agree with. And that's completely fine because it is my life and I don't want to be restricting myself into something that I know doesn't feel right for me. And from my Muslim sisters that I have reached out to when I first reverted, they also said the same thing too. They were like, you're going to be getting a whole bunch of different information. Even within the Muslim community, you'll be getting elders who will be telling you, no, like you can't do this. Like that's completely 110% haram. So on and so forth. However, it's your walk of life. They would always tell me that. And that really reassured me into who I am and what I'm doing today. Like I'm also a performer too. Like I dance, for my solo show, I'll cry about this earth and heaven too. I performed balo and I also belly danced. And I remember vividly sharing that with another Muslim sister. And like there was no judgment there, but there was kind of like a like really? Like, and then she like looked at my body. And when you speak about belly dancing, you think of like the whole wardrobe of it. You think about the belly actually showing, like cleavage showing, like skin, right? And I know for a fact that I'm here as a Muslim woman to be rewiring what it is to be a artist, but also walking this way of life, because you don't have to look that way to express yourself. It doesn't have to be like that. And yeah, I know that there are a lot of ways of being that I am that would, like allow like certain Muslims to like be like, huh, like really? And that's completely fine. I'm someone who's very open to these conversations. But yes, like, yes, I am a Muslim artist. I am a woman who performs, at her art shows. I am very outspoken. I'm shy sometimes. I play the drum. I am deeply clairvoyant and deeply intuitive. And yeah, I just really pray that me expressing this, whoever's supposed to hear this right now, really dive deep into what sits best for you and what is most authentic to you. Because there may be some Muslim sisters who look at me and completely judge me for what it is that I'm doing, and that's completely fine. It's just it's based off of what you were born into. That's from what I believe. Because their walk of life may be very, very different from mine. And mashallah, all kudos to them. I just know that I'm called to shift like a lot in the perspectives of what it means to be a Muslim woman. Of course, like, I still uphold myself to the utmost respect, and I put myself to the highest pedestal. And so I know that this is a very sensitive topic to talk about. However, this is my podcast and y'all signed up for this. Y'all are subscribed at this point. This is like the 5th episode. So y'all did the free trial. Y'all are subscribed. So alhamdulillah, I'm thankful for everyone who is staying open, to my journey. So I'm super excited about Ramadan this year because last year Ramadan, I wasn't Muslim. Like, I didn't take my shahada, which is really interesting, right? Because you would think, oh, you're Muslim, so you're practicing Ramadan. I was just practicing Ramadan just to practice it. And the portals that I opened during Ramadan was scary, but it was necessary. And I think a part of that was because I didn't have like a set intention on what I wanted to have come to fruition in Ramadan. Like, I know that fasting is a very powerful tool. It's very sacred and it's not something to play with. So I know that now a lot more than I did last year. And my experience of that was extremely cathartic. It was extremely eye-opening. But I wasn't really as intentional as I should have been. And so from what I've learned is, when you do put that extra intention into the fasting, which I have been doing, alhamdulillah, everything will literally fall into place the way it's supposed to. And I highly encourage, whoever is practicing Ramadan right now to just kind of, and I say this for myself, to just see in your life where are you most happy and where are you most clear, but other parts in your life where it's like unclear. And I say that because when we are in most in alignment with ourselves, we're able to pinpoint where in our lives things are not working out. It could be a relationship, it could be a job, it could be a habit. Oh my God. One of my habits that I am, inshallah, that I will be really working on this Ramadan is limiting sugars and like eating when I'm bored. And alhamdulillah, like, as I'm saying that too, I'm able to pick up like when the craving kind of picks up and it tempts me, but I'm able to just breathe through it. So if that helps anyone that is about to practice Ramadan this year with any of their addictions, any of their cravings, please do practice that, because I believe that breathing really brings you back to source, brings you back to your brain, it brings you back to your body and like your whole being. And it allows you to stay a little more present with what's going on and what's happening. Like, okay, like, I know that that's a test, so I'm able to pick up on it and I'm not gonna fall for it. And then there's nothing wrong with, when you break fast, eat a little sweet, that's fine. Who don't like a little sweet treat after a really savory meal? But the cravings though, I take that as a sign that there may be something there to detox. Like so for me personally, I really love the papaya. Oh my God. If you know me, you know that papaya is my fruit. A lot of people be sending me like papaya paintings and just papayas like when they see on Instagram. Because papaya is amazing. Like I've painted papayas in many of my different paintings before. And so not just was it an artist phase, but it kind of ties into like who I am. It's just very sweet, very cleansing. And now I'm craving papaya. But okay, so what I've learned with the papaya is not only the fruit is really cleansing and sweet, but also when you eat the seeds, not chew on it, but like when you swallow the seeds and then you drink like water or juice or tea, whatever, that's a parasite cleanser. And I also learned that when you do bite into it, when you bite into the seeds, it's like a form of magnesium, I think. It's magnesium and zinc. It can be both, but don't quote me on it. I'm sure it's one of those minerals. I'm sure it's one of those like vitamins. And yeah, so I realized that that has really worked for me when I pick up on the cravings that I had. And one of my weaknesses was really like chocolate. Like chocolate is number one. I will always have that as my first love. Like, but there have been times where I realized I was out of alignment in my life, in my emotional life. I wasn't tending to my emotional bank and leaning on chocolate a lot as kind of like the filler of a void that I really wasn't trying to, like tap into. And now, alhamdulillah, I'm able to journal, I'm able to read, I'm able to pick up on these cues a lot faster. So I feel a lot clearer. Alhamdulillah, I'm so grateful. And I wish and I pray that everyone, who is going through that or just figuring it out or realizing like they get back to that loop, that they also go through that as well, that they also fight through it. Because, if I can do it, I believe in proximity. Anyone can do it as well. It just really takes discipline. So that's something that I have learned when it comes to the sweets, when it comes to the discipline of Ramadan. And, just going back to the intentions of Ramadan, like one of the things that I see myself and just other Muslim sisters or just other Muslims speaking about is being intentional with staying present with community and not doing it alone. I'm craving community. There are times where I do need, just to recharge my energy, like for a day or two, but not to the extent of like months or weeks without talking to anybody because, that kind of builds like a social anxiety that I'm not trying to retrain. That muscle is like, just put that to the side. So I am craving community. I intend to be in safe spaces with Muslim women who are just really like about their shit, that really just want to enjoy Ramadan and make it light, but also stay on top of their intentions, on top of their goals and their visions and everything that they want to, manifest and, create for their life. I'm really big on intentionality. I'm really big on the certain conversations that we have. So I intend for our conversations to be very eye-opening and, we all have breakthroughs. Whether that's reading together, journaling, eating intentional foods, breaking fast together. Inshallah, khair, I will find that, which I already see forming, which I'm super grateful for. And yeah, I'm just kind of like just reflecting and speaking out loud. I don't have a real structure. I don't even know what to call this episode. But these are just things that I have been reflecting on these past couple of days. And today also marks the first, well, the new year, like the year of the fire horse. Whoa. So speak about passion, right? That's why I'm also adorning myself in red today, because red is the color of power. Red is the color of, like leadership, passion, and abundance. That's why you see people within like their Chinese culture, they send money through like red envelopes, because it's a sign of luck, it's a sign of abundance and blessings, and they just pass that down. And from what I know with this year, with the fire horse, it's a lot of actions that we need to take instead of just being in the brain about it. It's a lot of, ooh, there's a lot of leadership. So there'd be a lot more leaders within our communities that I see kind of coming up. Um, what else? Just doing things out of love. It's a fire sign. So think about fire, all fire signs. Like there's what? There's Leo, there's Aries, and there's Sagittarius, right? All of those fire signs, they're very just like driven. They're very passionate, very loving with everything that they do. And so they lead with their heart. And with that, I think that the fire horse, can really birth a lot of new gifts, a lot of new blessings, a lot of new businesses as well. And so I'm just really excited, just to see what all of us can create together and what I can create, because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what idea is going to pop up in my brain. I just know that I'm always stretching. I'm always like challenging myself, because I'm a student, but I'm also a teacher. And when I am in that learning mode, I am like deep. I'm deep into the studies. I'm deep into the craft. I'm deep into like, oh my God, like it's like a kid, like just like sensory, like, wow, what is this? Like, this is all brand new. While it can be daunting, it can be very exciting because it is new. You just gotta stretch that muscle out. And I'm excited to stretch new muscles. I'm excited to stretch and like challenge myself, like I said, and create new possibilities, create new ways of being, create new ways of thinking. And I'm just so happy. Like, I'm very grateful. Like, gratitude above all else. I could be in worse positions, but the fact that I have my legs to walk, I have my eyes to see, I have my voice to express, I have my hands to create, and just to, just be here present with everyone. Alhamdulillah. I'm so grateful. So with that being said, I know that there was just a lot that I kind of tapped into. I just really was speaking from the heart today. And whoever this resonates with, leave a comment, message me privately. We can have a conversation or even a call. I'm super open. Intentionally, though, don't try it. But yeah, alhamdulillah, I'm so grateful, and happy Ramadan to all of my Muslim brothers, all of my Muslim sisters. May Allah guide us to more ease, more clarity. May we be protected in all ways. And may everything that we want come true in the best ways possible. So thank you so much for tapping in with me today in another episode of Fana Talks. Love you.